Now that we know, and so many of us are understanding and developing relationship with whether we want to call them transdimensional entities, higher beings, ETs, other races of the galaxy, how come we are allowing the planet to go through so much destruction and chaos, and why haven't they stepped in to stop this disaster from happening?
They already stepped in. The latest thing is that collectively in our consciousness as a human race, we gave a permission for intervention. This happened like 2 months ago. I ended up posting this from the 11 dimensional beings, that the grids are completely fixed. And the reality that we're going to perceive right now is accordingly to our own vibration. So if you want to see positive outcome of whatever is happening, even if your system collapses, even if you see anything that is a disaster, you have to continue behaving in a positive way and holding your vibration in a positive thoughts in order for you to shift to a reality of an outcome that you're going through this process. Because we have to go as a human beings, we have to go through the lesson and the ascension process. There's no escape from that. We have to go through the lessons because it's simply part of evolution.
Yes, yes, and I guess what many of us need to do, or perhaps could do, is to acknowledge that we have a collective ascension happening simultaneously as we're having an individual ascension.
Yes.
And we need to work, I don't know if we need to, but be aware that they are one and the same, but yet our actions with our own ascension are going to reflect on the actions of the collective ascension. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, this is exactly. Collectively, we all going through this. You hear there's a war somewhere and you hear something else is happening, but at the same time, it's not happening to you. Collectively, we're going through changes, but may not be in your own particular individual reality because your lessons, your agreements, and everything that you're vibrating on is in a different, basically, layer of the same timeline. Because think of it as like an onion, that the onion has a lot is the same onion but has a lot of layers, and in each layer it's a different reality, different outcome, and depending on how you vibrate and what layer you are, that's what you're going to perceive. So that's why you need to hold positive vibration and not to give in the reality is like you standing in front of a big TV screens, a lot of TV screens, and in each one, there's a different realities, for example. The one reality that you're going to perceive and experience is the one that you consciously choose to tune in, like a radio frequency. So if you see in one reality, you see in that screen that is something negative happening and somebody is broadcasting negative, if you choose to listen to that, you actually, what you're doing is infusing that reality into your structure. You're crystallizing it. And in turn, your consciousness is starting to project this reality because it needs something to crystallize it. But if you acknowledge that it's there because it's part of consciousness, and in the same time you see in channel 5, you see beauty that may be something, but you see positive outcomes, you choose to tune in into this one and you know it's positive, you're starting to crystallize and vibrate in that structure, you intune that within yourself, and in turn you're projecting positive outcome in that reality. That's how it works in a quantum field, and that's how we are.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. I can't help but notice that many of us on this path of awakening have had very similar, I don't want to say a similar story, but it always seems that we have to be confronted with the dark, the negative, the chaos, the war, and then we seem to elevate our consciousness out of it. But, you know, I see it happening all over the planet where many people, when they begin to awaken, become very negative, very fearful, very angry, very outraged. And then eventually, you know, we transcend that. Is there a reason why we have to go through this, I call it the fear porn stage, where we love the death and destruction stuff, and then we elevate into a greater awareness? Is that a part of the process that they've told you?
Yes, this is the part of the process because they said, how can you know what is positive when you don't know the negative? Energy is simply energy, will go the way you go because, for example, from atomic energy, you can build an atomic bomb and you can save with complete free energy the planet. So depend how the energy is implemented into everything we do, that's how the reality will go to. And the reason why we have to go through this process is because consciousness itself, since is not biased, will go the way you think of it. Imagine if you vibrate in the negative thoughts all the time without you knowing the difference what is positive, you literally not going to exist. Consciousness must exist. It's always there, and this is the reason why you have to know the difference between all the realities and all the energetic fields so you can implement it and create something. It will be no creation and no existence if we don't know how to manipulate that, if we don't go through that process.
I couldn't agree more. I feel for those who have gotten stuck in the cycle of seeking the death, the destruction. It's almost like there's a part of humanity, I call it rubbernecking. Like, you see an accident on the highway and you can't help but turn around and look at it. I see it so much within our consciousness movement. Those that are always concerned about the reptilians taking over, or
Yes.
Planet X is going to hit us, or something, the Anunnaki are coming back to enslave us, or
Yes.
it's always some type of, oh my God, we're all going to die type.
Yeah, run for the mountains.
What's that?
Run for the mountains. I know
Yes, yeah. Well, I did, and I'm happy I did.
Oh, I had a lesson with that one. They made me collect water for 2 weeks and food for 2 weeks, and they said to me, okay, now in 2 days something is happening. And I go, okay. So I collected water for 2 weeks, I collected food for 2 weeks, and in 2 days almost coming, and I go, something is off here. Of everything I've learned, and I know that if I start believing that something is happening and I have to have food, then I'm infusing that particular reality. Soon as I said that, immediately they telepathically connected because they're always there, and they said, oh, finally, we were wondering how long was going to take you to realize that if you put your consciousness of thoughts and believing and take an action to something negative that will happen, you're actually infusing that particular reality. So you must know that you have everything you need, that everything is perfect, even if you see a collapse of a system, because what you're doing is you're creating a reality moment to moment, and you're shifting to a new earth, and you're manifesting through synchronicity everything you need in that reality.
Marina,
So the water
we
is
need to take a break. We're having a commercial break right now, but hold that thought. When we come back, we'll continue.
And now, back to your host, Bernard Alvarez.
And welcome back to the Just Bernard Show here on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. We are the #1 listener-supported radio station in the world. So remember to support us with a small donation if you can. Just go to freedomslips.com and click on the donate button. Keep all these wonderful programs on the air. Anyway, before the commercial break, we were speaking, and we are speaking, with Marina Jacobi. You were telling us a wonderful story about how these entities were teaching you a lesson on the end of the world mentality, for lack of a better term. What was the end result of that?
Well, the end result was after I realized that nothing was happening. They were telling me that if I take an action, and if I believe in my consciousness, if I know that I have to prepare for some kind of a major disaster and take an action towards it, I actually shifted myself and projecting a reality accordingly to my belief system. So I'm creating my own reality to have an outcome of negative, with a negative outcome. But if I know that even if I see a collapse of a system and I know that I have everything I need, I'm going to start shifting and put in a realities for me that everything I need in a structure is going to appear. Maybe a neighbor will give me water, maybe I will have food, or maybe I'll literally manifest pantry of food inside my house, or something will happen through the structure, through synchronicity, to give me whatever I need. Because you are the creator, you are the manifestation part. Because remember, we're made from this one particle, and you are the quantum structure. When you lower your vibration, you become a matter. So you are the structure. So whatever you put out is what you get back. The structure is a mirror image of your own consciousness. So if you put this in belief system and knowingness and take an action, make sure that you infuse your actions towards the positive and hold that positive vibration so you have a positive outcome, even if you see a collapse of something that is happening.